Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Throne. We're glad you're here. Sit down, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you like to do, because we getting ready to go deep, deep, deep on this episode of The Throne. Why was prison a goal?
Seemed like everybody that got out the pen in the hood, you know what I'm saying? All the girls want to give them some pussy and everything like that, and all the homies, you know what I'm saying, want to give them some chips and stuff. Yeah, get on your feet, man. You know what I'm saying? They yada, all that. This glorifying everybody got out the pen. Even the women that got out the pen, they glorified them and everything like that. I wanted to be glorified too. What about me? You know, I'm acting. I'm generated and acting and fueled on not even know who the fuck I am. So I want some of that too. You know.
That's
I want some affection too. I'm a child that grew up with no affection. Nobody hugged me and told me they love me. Nobody hugged me and told me you're gonna be powerful in this world. Nobody hugged me and told me that I'm gonna be something. Nobody hugged me and told me that I'm a beautiful black child. Nobody told me that. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to just be something. I'm gonna gravitate to anything that shine. You know what I'm saying? Anything that gave me recognition.
Wow.
And then that led me to many times in the county jail. In LA, you can go to county jail 9-10 times.
Yeah, really?
But they building your ass up. And then I finally went to prison. Man. I got caught for a robbery and 2 burglaries. And that was it. And I already had 2 robberies on my jacket already, and a whole bunch of burglaries, a whole bunch of this violence and this and that other. So I was on my way to prison, you know, and they took me from LA County Jail to Tehachapi, and I ended up in Soledad, where the Soledad brothers were, you know what I'm saying? Actually, the same wing, Fox wing, 3rd tier, cell 313.
Ooh, not you remember it. Well, I tried so hard to forget so quick.
I can remember all those numbers, Red. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I have to revisit that shit like that to center me today. You know, to center me today.
And it's amazing how those numbers become a part of your imprint in the world. You know, like I could go so far down that rabbit hole, but those numbers, they are associated with the ugly parts of us. And it's like, you know, we tell our kids, you know, what you do in school today is going to affect you when you get out into the world, because somebody's going to be able to look you up and see what kind of kid you were. And if it fits what they're trying to prove or pin on you or whatever, then they're going to dig that shit up. So be mindful of what you're doing right now in 3rd grade, 7th grade, 12th grade, college. Like, you got to always be mindful, because somebody can go back and put the pieces of your life together. And that's what the feds do. That's what the prosecutor does, is they dig through your life and take facts from your life
and connect the
and
dots.
They put them in a chronological order and make up a story that includes these honest and true facts from your life. They present them to a jury, and the jury decides whether or not to bring your ass in. It's a game, you know? And so all of the things from our childhood, all of the traumas that we've experienced from family and situations that were outside of our control because we were the fuck kids, or our children were children and had no control over, and it was our responsibility and we dropped the ball. You know, we have to take responsibility for that, because all of these things that we experience, good or bad, but especially the bad is always going to be bigger in our minds than the good. These are the experiences that shape who we are. And that's why your ass ended up in prison, because your mom was in prison and you were by yourself with people who didn't have the time to explain to you what was really going on so that you could understand. Because, you know, kids are just people who don't know all the big words to use to explain what they need.
I think it was, you know what I'm saying? I think it was, they didn't not only have the time, that didn't register good with me. I just don't think that they had the compassion
Yeah, or whatever
right.
the thing was that was needed for them to step in and do more, to care, Some people just don't have the capacity. Some people just don't understand what it means to love. So maybe they feel like, well, I gave a little nigga a place to stay while his mama was locked up, and that's love.
Right.
We were getting through the first part of little Charles Smith's life as a young boy coming up, and his experiences that led him
Charlie
to the prison door, little Charlie in the chocolate factory. So I want to get into it. We've kind of set the foundation and set the stage, but I want to hear a little bit about what life was like for you on the inside, and how some of the experiences that you were faced with shaped who you were in relation to your recidivism, because we understand that you've been more than one time.
Oh, yeah.
4 times. So going to prison is no fun.
No.
Having all of your rights stripped, having all of your privileges stripped from you, not being able to choose what you eat, when you shit, shower, shave, having people look up your butt just to be able to go see your family and give them a hug at the beginning and the end of your visit. Like, it is the most demeaning, humiliating experience. And so, when people continue to come through that revolving door, on the outside looking in, we're like, well, damn, you must like it. I mean, like, you must not learn your lesson, but not understanding that everyone's story is different.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has a different reason. Some people do this shit on purpose. Some people get into trouble on purpose because they don't trust themselves, or they don't have the tools to take care of themselves, and it's easier to have 3 hots and a cot.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't know any other way. So we understand
That's
that
so true.
There's just so many different experiences, and oftentimes when people get caught up in the system, their families don't understand what that looks like when you're inside the system, fighting for your life. And once you're in there, it's so hard to get out of the system. It's so much easier to recidivate. So I want to know what life inside was like for you, and what were the things that shaped who you were in that time that caused you to keep taking your ass back.
Well, I have to say that going to the county jail so many times before prison kind of prepared me for some of the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff as far as being taken out of society, and you can't watch what you want to watch on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You can only have this. You go eat now, and you got to finish before you eat, in a certain amount of time, and all of that stuff like that. Walking in lines, and saying that you're so close to the person that it's just literally disrespectful. And all of that, prepared me to a certain extent. But the day that I walked into Solid Ass Central, I was scared to death. I was scared. You know what I'm saying? I didn't show it. You couldn't tell, but I was scared. And they took me through the process and everything like that, interviewed me, they said they know I was gang affiliated and everything like that. So, in prison, they said one thing that in California prison, I had to say that, this is California prison. They don't house blacks with whites. They don't house blacks with Mexicans. They don't house Mexicans with white. They house you differently towards race, and then they go even deeper. If you're gang affiliated, they're not gonna house me with a Crip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna house me with a BGF or a Kumi or whatever. They'll house me with a BGF, but not somebody from Kumi or anything like that. They're gonna house me more or less with another blood, and they actually housed me with a homie from my hood. So you know what I'm saying, that was a plus. When I walked into the wing, you just see 3 tiers. And on that, all the way on that far side of the tier, you know what I'm saying, there's a guard up there with a gun, an M14. And then you got a guard right here on this end of the tier with an M14. So you under the gun in California prisons in a level 3 yard at all times, you know what I'm saying, and level 4 yards at all times, you know. So I went to cell. The homie, I knew the homie, you know what I'm saying? Shout out K-Rock, rest in heaven, you know what I'm saying? He was in there, and then, you know, we greeted each other. He was happy to see me. He said, damn, little young nigga, you know what I'm saying? Because he was an older homie, you know what I'm saying? You know, yada, yada, yada. So we talked, went in there, and then he just got in front of me real serious. He's saying, I've got to, you know, since my responsibility to release you, he said, for the next, you know what I'm saying, the 10 to 15 days, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be in here in the cell. They ain't going to let you out. You know, and I didn't know that, you know, and he said, yeah, he said, first, because they have to, they run an investigation on you, see if you got any enemies, you know what I'm saying, on the yard. And I said, well, shit, I got a whole bunch of enemies on the yard, don't I? And he said, yeah, but, you know, direct enemies, you know what I'm saying, from some conflict that you didn't have, or, you know what I'm saying, or a word out that you don't understand that you pulled the trigger on this or whatever, and they really out to get you or whatever the case may be. So in other words, they're going to go through your dirt. And anyway, so he made sure that I had the soups and the extra stuff from the child hall, you know, not from the child hall, but other than my 3 meals and hots and a cot, he made sure that I had, you know what I'm saying, tobacco and this and that and the other, yada, yada,
and zooms
and wham-whams and everything like that. He blessed my game on that, you know.
Man, crazy.
And then the day came to where I was going to be able to come out my cell. And everybody, all the homies that's on the yard knew I was there. They knew I arrived. Man, communication is a beast in the penitentiary when you're affiliated, man, fast. You know what I'm saying? Through kites and everything like that. They knew when I was coming in from reception, because the guy in reception that worked in reception, you know what I'm saying? He one of the homies, you know, so he told the homie, so, you know, prepare the homie, come to the yard. So when I came out, the first thing that they did, you know what I'm saying, K-Rock, he showed me where we hung out, up under this gun tower, you know, what to do, what not to do, where not to go. The Crips over there, the Sereno Mexicans over there, the Norteños over there, you know what I'm saying, yada, 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 white boys, the skinheads over there, Nazi lowriders over there, the Hells Angels over there,
shit.
You know.
That's too much to remember.
And then he's, you know, there are certain rules. If you got to use the bathroom, you got to let the homies know, hey, I need to go to I'm finna go use this restroom. And then, you know, about 7 to 10 homies gonna fall out with you. Walk over to the restroom, and then when you in there, they gonna post up. 2 gonna post up in there with you, but the rest of them gonna be outside. It's that damn serious. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, it's popping. And then they give me a care package. And inside the care package, you know, I got a can of Bugler, you know, and I got some Zoom. I got a couple of caps of weed and everything like that, and all my little hygiene items and everything, and a knife, you know. And they showed me how to maintain, hide, and stash my knife and maintain it, you know what I'm saying, when nothing's happening, you know what I'm saying. I do got to dig it up, make sure it's sharp, make sure it's still ready, you know, make sure it's still there. And all of these things, you know what I'm saying. And it's crazy, you know. Prison was a task. It wasn't easy the first time, and it had nothing to do with the danger that I was in. I was there. I was structured into something because I'm affiliated. So therefore I had to abide by the structure. I had to learn how to speak Swahili. I had to learn, you know, we speak Swahili in California prisons, you know what I'm saying, because the Mexicans communicate and we don't know what the hell they talking about, so we need to communicate when they don't know what the hell we talking about. So we need to stay ahead of the game, you know what I'm saying. We are black men, so you know what I'm saying, we gonna get it. You know, and this particular prison, you know what I'm saying, every 6 months it go on lockdown for about 4 months. You know, because somebody took off on the yard, and it ain't no head up fights on no yards. There ain't no head up fights. Even if you have Red, if we have a problem with our issue, or I have a problem with another homeboy, we gonna handle that in the cell. Anything that happened on the yard is from a whole faction to a whole faction. That means the whole yard end up fighting.
So let me line this up.
People get killed, Red. Shot.
Let me line this up. Because right now we're talking about your life inside of prison and how it shaped who you were, that caused you to continue to recidivate, right? So what I'm hearing is you went from the gangs on the streets to the gangs inside the prison. And so there was no real change of behavior. In fact, it was more concentrated because you're in such a small community of people, right?
Exactly.
And this experience, I want everyone to understand how this experience is comparable to military life, how this experience is comparable to the public school system, and how all these things work in tandem to shape a particular demographic of people and their mindsets to contain them in a certain level of thinking that causes them to be on a hamster wheel of life.
I like the way you put that. That was clever.
You know what I mean? Okay, so if we look at the public school system, public school is for children of families who are at or below poverty level, basically, because if you're above poverty level, middle to upper class and beyond, then your family can afford to pay for your education. And when you are paying for your education,
you get a better education.
You get the real knowledge, right? But when you are forced to be in public schools, public assistance, free meals, and all these types of things, then you're subject to the government's curriculum.
Yeah, because the teachers don't even want to be there.
And the government's curriculum is given to the public school system, and it's standardized among all of the little public school children across the country. That's standardized testing, and if you don't meet these criteria for public school, then you don't get to go to the next grade. This is a methodology, if you will, to enslave us into a thought process that is chosen for us.
Yeah.
And it causes us to make these low level and low vibrational decisions for our lives, because this is what we're taught to do. We're taught to be workers. We're taught to be order takers. Let's go to the military. When you go to the military, if you make a choice, if you make the conscious decision to go to the military, chances are very, very slim that you did that because that is your life's dream, is to go and fight in Uncle Sam's war.
Very few people do that.
Very few people make a conscious choice on their own to go to the military. Typically, you are a military child, your parents, it's a family tradition, and all of these things, and you're highly connected and you understand the lifestyle because that's how you were raised.
Or that's your only option.
Or that's your only option. It's either prison or the military because your ass got in trouble, or you out here with all these responsibilities and no education, lack of education, public education, can't get a good job, and you need some money, and Uncle Sam's promising you a check every 1st and 15th and free education. So that's why you chose to sign your name on the dotted line and be a government issue.
Last house on the block.
GI, right?
GI.
So when you go to the military, you're subject to Uncle Sam's curriculum. It's the same curriculum that you're taught in the public school system. It's the preschool to prison pipeline, right? This is what this is. And so these choices, are they really choices, or are they a mentality that's been set up, to cause us to be trapped in this hamster wheel?